We've had one or two people asking us to help them with border designs, and that's great because it means that we can ask them to do a little video, we'll have a little look, have a discussion about what they're trying to do, and so that is what we're going to see in this video. Hello, I'm Rosie Hardy, this is Rosie Hardy Gardening. If you enjoy our videos, please do subscribe to the channel. Now, the reason why we've had this is because we have an email list, and if you want to subscribe to the email, then please do so. It's in a link below. Basically, this is just so that we can give a few people ideas on different borders, what they're doing, and how to help them. So with this one is David, and David sent us a video of his garden. Beautiful raised beds, which he was finding difficult to manage, and also they were in 3 blocks. So you've got your first block, a set of steps, another block, a set of steps, and another block behind that.
Hi Rosie, you asked for borders which are problematic. This is mine. This is a border I inherited. I started to plant up the bit you've seen so far. The bit here from the steps onwards is roughly 10 meters long by about 3 meters. It's a slightly acidic soil. It's fairly well drained, but good level of moisture coming down, and it's about 3 meters wide, and I have no idea what to do with it. At the top you can see Cotoneaster there, and some roses at the top there which are used for a bit of a windbreak. It's an exposed site, south facing, and it's a bit of a wilderness at the moment. I've been able to weed it, that's about it, and I'd really like some advice on what to do with this. It's got a variety of plants in, some of which I planted, some of which I inherited, and as you can see, a bit of bramble at the moment. So if you've got some ideas about what I can do with this, how I can deal with it, I would be very grateful. If you want a better high-resolution pictures or video of this, just let me know. You can see at the bottom some nice geraniums there, which we inherited into it, and there's some nice plants within this bit of a jungle. Some nice aquiledias here, and other plants. All right, thank you very much indeed.
So, because we had this border, so basically what we're seeing, and originally what he sent to me, was the fact that he's got this border here, which he's quite happy with, loves bright, wonderful colours, that's great. Set of steps, this border where there's a problem, another set of steps, and the border here. So we'll just turn it to that camera, you can see that is the bit we're not looking at. We're looking at the bit between this set of steps and this set of steps and this piece here, and it's all on a bank. It is slightly he says it's got 2 lots of walls, so it's got a holding wall, then there's a bit but it slopes, then there's another bit, and he says it's really difficult to get up and down on. There's a lot of stone in there, etc. So the soil is good. It is quite free draining, but it gets a reasonable amount of moisture, and obviously it drains down the hill. There were plants that he wanted to keep, but there were also plants that were difficult as well. So my asking him initially was, are you prepared to dig out all of the existing plants, keeping those that you would like and discarding the others? This will also mean removing the established geraniums on the front, which will establish well again, because those were something that he said he really liked. And in answer to that, he said, yeah, willing to take out all the plants. It needs a complete rethink. We like bright colours, but it's rather garish. That's no problem. That's what you like. That's absolutely fine. The only plant I'm attached to is the Niphophia I grew from seed. I'm not sure if this could be moved. The rest could be rehomed or repositioned elsewhere in the garden. The geraniums could be taken out and moved. So what I have gone back to him and said is, yes, absolutely. You need to be starting at one end, and you need to be very thorough. You need to dig up all the plants that you don't want, and discard those, so they can either be composted, or if you have got somewhere to rehome them, they can be rehomed. And when you're doing this thorough removal, make sure that you get rid of all of the perennial weed that is in there as well. You want to be starting off again with a blank canvas and so that you can start. And that means if you've got borders where you can put plants you want to keep, or you've got containers, you can put a lot of that plant material into those areas and go, right, those can be split up, cut back, and then they can be repositioned in the new borders once I've got it all shipshape and ready to go. And that is something that is really necessary. Then my other question was, how much hard landscaping are you prepared to do? He said, I can do some hard landscaping, have lots of walling stone and can build dry stone walls. However, have a limited budget for this. That is absolutely fine. And if you've already got the material, then you probably don't need to get any more in. And I'd be better off doing it yourself, because you will have that sense of achievement once you've actually done all of that yourself. So then I thought about this, and because he's got you're looking at it from the front. You've got a stone wall, then there's another little wall, and it's only about 2 stone, and then another one. So you've basically got 3 tiers, but they're not flat. They are sloped as well. And that's what he's got to get rid of. He's got to get rid of that slope. So what I am suggesting that he does with that is, once he's got all the plant material out of there, leaving the odd big shrub at the top, and we'll come to that in a moment, is that you look at, from the first wall, you look at flattening out the ground, and then you'll find the retaining wall that is your next retaining wall. Make that a little bit higher. Any of the soil that you've taken that is, you can remove somewhere else, that's fine. Then flatten off the next one, another retaining wall, make sure that they're all good. Use up whatever you've got in the way of dry stone walls and make them slightly bigger, because too high is not enough. You need it to be somewhere between a foot, 30 centimetres, and 18 inches for those retaining walls. Now you may find that once you put the retaining wall up, you don't have to move a lot of soil other than to make it flat, but any that was on the bottom layer might go up and help with that. And so you will be moving soil and just making it a flat area to plant, so much easier to walk on. And that will be brilliant. And then the other thing I suggest, because it looks as though it's really difficult to get into at the moment, you need to put in front of those retaining walls. So if the retaining walls are here, like so, holding back your embankment, in front of those, put yourself a narrow pathway. And that narrow pathway then gives you the ability to get in behind, deal with the plant material, which is the back, which I think is what's been the problem so far, is that whenever he tries to go in, it's really unstable underfoot, and it's not the best way. And I can see an accident waiting to happen with that. If you have level tiers, that will make life much, much easier, and you will find that your soil will move around to those other areas. So that is what I am suggesting that you actually do, is that, and add in these paving stones. So I have a little bit of a sketch here of what I mean. So you've got your first retaining wall, then you have a flat layer, then you have your next wall, and you have your paving going along here. So if we turn it to this camera, so that should hopefully be the close-up, you can see we've got your front wall, a flat level of soil, a nice stone pathway or block pathway, then your next retaining wall, then another flat layer, then another path, then the next one, and then your top layer. All of this makes it so much easier to be able to get in. You have that little pathway. It doesn't have to be huge, just a little bit, because things can grow through it, that's absolutely fine. But you have that definite area, you've got a retaining wall, you're not going to fall over, you can get in behind your material, you can give it a cut, you can give it a prune, you can give it a stake up without having to really scrabble through everything. So that makes life so much easier. It also means from that layer you can go into the next layer from the front and be able to look after it. Once your plants come up, you won't notice that you've gone from being a bank to being 3 levels, because your planting will cover a lot of that, and that will be really good for you, and it will make life a lot easier within this particular area that you've got. So basically all I've written down here, the front wall, front retaining wall, once you've taken everything out, you may not need to do much to that. You may just need to give it a little bit of TLC, just make sure that it is perfectly safe and stable. And then making these next layer walls just slightly higher, 3 stones if possible, putting in your stone access pathways and flatten out the planting levels to make life easier for you to plant it back up and to re-put things in and enjoy that space much more. So that is that bit. The next question was, he has, as is stated in his video, this massive cotoneaster at the top here and some roses along the top as well. So I did say to him, because he sort of said, oh, I'm going to have to take the cotoneaster out. And I went, well, do you really want to move the cotoneaster because it can be trained? And he went, the cotoneaster is a bee magnet in the spring. The bush literally hums, attracts a variety of bumblebees. In the autumn, it's a good resource of berries for the birds. I didn't think I could cut it back, so thought it had to go. I am more than willing to give it a go at training it. Absolutely fine. He's just ticked the boxes. It is a bee magnet. It's food for the birds. Leave it there. But prune it into what you want. It's an ideal one to be cloud trained, so you could make a cloud bush if you wanted out of it, if you want to do that. Otherwise, you could just simply reduce it both in width and in height and make it into the shape that you actually want it to be. No problem whatsoever. I would definitely leave it there. Apart from anything else, you will find it's got a huge root run, and you will be disturbing a lot, and actually it's probably holding up a lot of the top banking tier, so that is something to be. That top banking tier may not be able to go as flat. It might have to be a little bit sort of on a slope, but that won't actually matter, because now you've got your front piece a little bit high and you've got your walkway across. You can get in, and you can get in from the other side, from the top, so that is no problem at all. The roses look as though they need a good prune. Get them into good condition and they will be fine as well, because you said it's a bit of a windbreak. That's fine, because it's an exposed area, so anything that creates a windbreak, that's leave there, don't move, just move all of the herbaceous around the edge of it. I would personally start from one side and just systematically go through the whole of the thing, clearing it all out to a point where it's clear, you have that vision, you can see it, and then get your tiers in. Do your pruning of your cotoneaster and your roses as a day off job, because you won't be wanting to be doing all that heavy lifting and everything else. Go back to something which is a little where you'll be standing upright, you'll be doing something. So do that and have a think about what you want to do with the cotoneaster. It will be absolutely fine. They prune no problem at all, and the roses prune perfectly, so that's fine. My last question to him was, how much time do you have for this project? And David said, I have as much time needed for the project. Absolutely fine. That is great. That means that you can be very rigid and you can do set amounts each day or what have you and get it done in a really good manner. But what I would say is, is do it in stages. Do all of the hard landscaping first. So get that after. So once you've got it clear and you are to fallow ground, do all of the hard landscaping. Do not think about putting any plants in there until you've got that hard landscaping done. You then have your open page of able to think about what you're going to plant where, how you're going to do it, and put in all of the wonderful bright coloured things that you want. Think about, oh, maybe I'll put an annual in here, or I'll put some dahlias in to give a bit of extra pop. And then, because it's now going to be more accessible, rather than having a lot of the herbaceous which looked as though it had not been pruned back or anything like that, you'll be able to give it that prune back, and it will give you the second flush, the later flush of flower. So that is really what I'm asking you to do. I would also ask you to get it all clear, do the hard landscaping, and leave it fallow over the winter months. Do not do any planting. Plant in the spring. That way you will see how your soil has settled. You'll be able to put mulch on there as well. So all of that will go into the soil over the winter months. That's a great time. Obviously you've got your top plants, so you're not going to be looking at completely bare. You've got your cotoneaster and your roses, so there is a buffer between the house and this bare patch. But anyway, it's going down the hill, so it's not a problem. But it'll be so much better because you will see how it all settles. And then in the spring, you can have, and over the winter months while it's dark and what have you, you can go, oh, I'd like that plant and I'd like that plant, and you can draw up a little plan of what you actually want to put in there so that it becomes something that you really enjoy and it still has those bright garish colours that both you and your wife love. And I think this is a fabulous project and you'll have great fun with it. Just don't overdo it. Don't get too tired doing it. Rome wasn't built in a day. Make sure you do it steadily at your pace, and hopefully you'll have it clear, you'll have the landscaping done before we get into the worst of the winter weather, and then in the spring it's a clean sheet. You're ready to do your planting up, and then you can watch and look at all of these plants and marvel at how well you have done and what you have produced. So I think it's a fabulous project. I think you'll have fun doing it and you can create something really beautiful. Now, if you are all interested in redesigning and doing bits and pieces, then why not look at my border course? The border course is there for you to dip in. Once you've got it, you can dip back in, have a look at pieces. It explains how to put plants together and all of those different things. So that is that there. But I think this is going to be a fabulous project for David, and I hope he does eventually send us back some video of the masterpiece that he is going to create. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel. If you want to watch another video of mine, YouTube thinks this one is perfect for you.